We're probably all familiar with the phrase, "it's just the tip of the iceberg." And we know that that refers to an issue or a problem or a person. You can just kind of see a little bit, but the whole picture is much bigger. And photographers have been able to use some really impressive equipment to show us not only the top of the iceberg, but all of it. And see that what we can see above the surface is so small in comparison to what's below the surface. And that's true about people, isn't it? That we might know someone, that we might see how they look or the expression on their face, but that's really just the tip of the iceberg of what's going on in their heart and life. And some of us, we're a little bit more discerning. We have a little bit better idea. We're a little bit better at seeing what's going on underneath the surface, but even then, we're not able to see the whole picture. For me as a pastor, there are times that people come and they share things with me that they wouldn't share with other people. And so I have a little bit deeper look into what's going on in their heart and life. But on the other hand, there are people that as soon as they find out I'm a pastor, they go the exact opposite direction. And they try to shape up the top of the iceberg as much as they possibly can to make it look as good as they possibly can. And it may be that you're here today and all we can see about what's going on in your life is just the tip of the iceberg. It may be that you're here today and the way you portray yourself and the way that you express yourself and the way that you have kind of dolled yourself up to be in church with us today is really hiding what's going on underneath the surface. And I want you to know that while I might not be able to see it, and you might be able to do a great job of hiding that underneath the surface from me or from people around you or maybe even your friends, your family, your spouse, that Jesus sees all of that. That when he looks at us, he can see down to the deepest recesses of our hearts, that he knows everything about us. And in this passage of Scripture, we see that Jesus is speaking to a crowd that on the face of things, on the outside looking in, it kind of seems like they're followers, but Jesus knows their hearts. He knows what's going on with them. After all, last week we looked at the beginning of John chapter 8, and Jesus tells us that he does not judge according to the flesh. He does not judge on the outside, but rather he judges what's on the inside, those things that really matter, what is really important. Jesus can see that, and he makes his determinations based on that. And so what we're going to see happen in the second half of John chapter 8 is Jesus speak directly to some needs that are deep down in the bottom, the basement of their hearts.